There is no subject matter which we can't touch in one way or another. Come up with these publicity stunts and whatever to attract viewers. No different than any other television program. They all do it. We're going to go into controversial subjects to get people talking about, they're going to the edge again. We're not going to stay in one little niche. Wherever it is we want to go, we're going to go as long as our audience comes with us.
Going against the first week of Monday Night Football with the show already showing potentially worrying signs of interest trending downwards in the past 2 weeks, Raw, which is set for the most challenging TV season for the program until the end of the year since perhaps the peak of the Nitro competition, saw the company following the surprisingly strong media coverage for the Billy and Chuck Whiting announcement on Thursday, looking to generate similar buzz for the Raw brand with another publicity stunt in hopes of either boosting or at least offsetting the expected rating drop against the heavier sports competition going forward, kicking off with the tag titles match of Kane and Bradshaw challenging Christian and Storm in front of a hot crowd in Iowa State for the opening tag match going 7 minutes. With the TV audience not reflecting the crowd in the building, with Raw feeling the effects of the new season from the first quarter to open below the 4 million viewers range for the first time in years, while in the background to the match which saw Regal joining the Canadian group Jerry Lawler started the hype for what is targeted to be the big segment of the night, with him setting the stage for a big announcement from Eric Bischoff coming up next, with Eric after announcing a 4-way elimination match in the TV main event for a title shot at Unforgiven, turning to the big talking point of the show with him calling the upcoming Gunn and Palumbo segment on Thursday now built as a commitment ceremony, a publicity stunt to pop a rating while bringing up the legit media coverage the angle got on some of the highest profile publications in the country, looking to counter and one-up it with a publicity stunt of his own by promoting HLA for later tonight, bumping Raw over 400,000 viewers from the low opening, while in the process sending Jerry Lawler into a frenzy for the rest of the night with probably the biggest selling job of his career to hype the segment coming up in the next hour. With Triple H booked for an unusual match against Spike Dudley later tonight, Hunter's biggest match of the weekend took place last Friday, with the company booking the first ever Hunter vs. Lesnar match to headline the Raw house show, with the first match between the new top champions of both brands, ending with Lesnar kicking out of a pedigree before going over clean with the F5 for the finish, with talks of them being kept apart to potentially build to a unification match at a major pay-per-view or even WrestleMania 19 next year, and with the status of Rock, Hogan, Austin and Goldberg not clearly known over the next 5 months, the most talked about match to take place at WrestleMania, including Angle already publicly targeting it for the event in several interviews over the past month, took place on Monday head-to-head against the Raw TV broadcast, with the first ever Angle vs. Lesnar match headlining the SmackDown house show in Minnesota, seeing Lesnar largely working the match as a babyface before going over following Benoit's interference, with Raw perhaps with the tease of it being the HLA segment next, with Lawler doing a massive hype job before a commercial break, peaking the first hour by a significant margin in the third quarter, featuring Bubba vs. Richards and a Trish and Terri vs. Stacy and Victoria tag match, bumping the show to an hour-high 3.6 rating with over 4.6 million viewers, with the hour overall after the lower-than-usual start and slow pickup for the majority of it seen at averaging less than 4.3 million viewers, making it the lowest viewership total for a Raw hour on a regular week on Monday night since September 14, 1998, on a night that saw the show going head-to-head against one of the most hyped Nitros in history, with Ric Flair's return to reform the Horsemen along with a first-time ever Goldberg vs. Sting main event. Triple H's entrance crossed Raw over 10 p.m. with him set for a match against Spike Dudley to bring up comparisons to his then talked-about title match against Taka in April 2000, most remembered for a close near-fall that popped the building, with Taka being a second away from winning the WWF title, with Hunter with the template of that match clearly in mind, looking to replicate it against Spike to go 8 minutes at the top of the hour, quarter to the peak of the night, 3.7 rating with 4.7 million viewers, making it the lowest peak viewership for a Raw broadcast since before the company got the ball rolling in the Attitude Era boom period, ending with Spike making a comeback before Hunter took back control to go over, with comparisons to the Taka match which took place just over 2 years ago, but with the feel of it already being in a different era that is already being referred to and acknowledged as the glory days, straight in the middle of the peak period that's now long in the past. Seeing the 4.7 million viewers on the night compared to 6.8 million in the 2000 match, which at the time wasn't close to the peak of the show, continuing to build up a potential Hunter vs Bubba match for a later date, with Bubba running in for the save post-match. After the top of the hour peak in a similar pattern to last Monday, Raw never fully recovered for the rest of the broadcast, with a drop of 400,000 viewers throughout, first with Booker and Goldust against Test and Regal going 6 minutes to a 3.4 rating, and with the Raw brand urgently needing some influx of major names and proven viewership draws in the tough period over the next 4 months. JR updated on the status of the majority of them, with him saying that Rock is not expected back on WWE television until WrestleMania season next year, along with him confirming that no new negotiations took place with Steiner and Goldberg in the past month, while commenting on Austin's suspended status with the company, saying that while anything can eventually happen, his return is not on the cards for the near future. And with Nash also out with injury for at least the next 6 months, leaving Shawn Michaels as the only realistic major name available who can potentially make an impact on Raw, and after massive hype almost exclusively from Lawler since 9/20, with the segment mentioned non-stop for the past hour, the Talked About HLA segment was placed between 10:30 to 45 p.m. with Bischoff introducing the two women from California's UPW promotion, reportedly set up on Saturday, while the media publicity from the SmackDown wedding was going on to deliver on his promised publicity stunt in the ring, with this segment, which unlike the angle set for this Thursday, which saw the company warning viewers on the potentially provocative content days in advance with more leeway on cable television, saw TNN sending out a public statement in response saying that the network takes serious issue and don't condone the content of the episode, while also expressing concern to the WWE for future similar occurrences, along with it also being edited on several international versions of the show. While on the actual main TNN broadcast, the segment, openly acknowledged as a rating publicity stunt, saw the quarter picking up to a 3.5 rating with 4.5 million viewers, not resulting in any massive viewership spike, but still outdrawing the main event that followed it to the second most watched segment of the hour, with far bigger expectations set for the second publicity stunt this Thursday to see if the massive outside media coverage would also translate to a strong viewership increase for the already hyped season premiere show of SmackDown. Chris Jericho vs. Van Dam vs. Jeff Hardy vs. Big Show in the 4-way elimination main event for a shot at the first pay-per-view match for the new Raw title saw the match going 16 minutes through a commercial break into the 8-minute overrun in one of the longest Raw matches of the year, seeing Show eliminated early already before 11 p.m., followed by Jeff to leave Van Dam vs. Jericho in the final sequence for the Unforgiven title match. And while last Monday's main event saw the unprecedented situation of the overrun not only losing viewers but being the least watched segment of the show, this week, while the 4-way main event didn't lose viewers and outdrew the opening quarter, there was no positive spin coming out of it again, with the match barely moving with only a 17,000 viewers gain, while the overall viewership total of 4.2 million was the lowest for a Raw headliner in over 4 years, developing a potentially worrying pattern for the second straight week of the top promoted segment not being strong enough to hold viewers past 11 p.m. in what up until 3 weeks ago was a guaranteed major pickup spot on almost a weekly basis since June '98, with the broadcast overall taking the expected hit to drop to an over 4-year low of a 3.4 rating with 4.3 million viewers, starting the new reality for the Raw brand, with the show similar to SmackDown's steady drop earlier in the year due to debuting in the middle of the peak period, is set to see more over 4-year lows on almost a regular basis going forward, setting up the Raw title match for Unforgiven, with Van Dam going over to now shift the company's focus to the hyped SmackDown season premiere in 3 days.